Okay, guys, we are live. Dave's LFC Chats. Hit the like, hit the share on Twitter and Instagram, and of course on YouTube. Okay, guys, stalemate at Goodison, 0-0. Not good enough. Really poor, especially first half. Really bad first half. Couldn't get a hold of the ball. That midfield just did not work for me. That midfield didn't work for me with young Carvalho, Elliott, and Fabinho. I know we've injuries and stuff. We really missed Thiago. That's the big key for me. We missed Thiago in midfield. Henderson, of course, was missing today. But we had enough of the pitch there to be able to beat Everton, and we just couldn't do it. If anything, Everton probably could have won it and should have won it themselves. Okay, we hit the crossbar and twice in the space of 10 seconds and stuff like that. They hit the post. Alisson pulled off 2 or 3 wonder saves in that game. He was my man of the match. Pickford pulled off 1 or 2 good saves himself, especially that one from NUNEZ. Wow, pushed onto the post. But did we do enough? No. Did we control the game? No. That's the big, big worry for me going forward. That is a big, big worry. I don't know what we're going to do going forward, guys, but we got to get it quick. We got to get it fixed really, really fast because we just weren't good enough today. I mean, we made Everton look good. We made United look good at Old Trafford a few weeks ago. We made Everton look good today. They seem to want it more. They had a lot more energy. Okay, they're at home in the Goodison Park faithful and stuff like that, but they'd only three draws coming into this and 2 losses. So they 4 draws and 2 losses. So they 4 points from 6 games. We've 9 points from 6 games. 3 draws in 6 games. 50% is draws, and draws kill you basically, don't they? I mean, 1 win and 2 losses is the same as 3 draws, 3 points. That's it. Not good. Back to the drawing board. It's the midfield. I said at the start, you need the midfield to be right. It was a risk with the 2 young lads, and it just didn't work today. They weren't bad now, but it just didn't work. Get your comments in, what you thought in the game. Who was your man of the match? For me, there wasn't anybody really on the pitch other than Alisson putting off 2 or 3 world-class saves, but there wasn't much in it after that. I mean, it was a lethargic, poor performance. It looked a tired performance. We're only 6 league games in. Tired performance, 6 league games in. I mean, I don't know, guys. Get your comments in anyway and see what happens. Hit the like, hit the share. You know what to do. We'll stay on for a few minutes for instant match reaction, as I say, but not great today. A lot of people are writing us off at the league already, but I mean, you know, the way City are playing, even when the other teams are playing, the likes of Arsenal, you know, it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it's going to be tough now, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, City won't be dropping, you know, that amount of points. There's just no chance City will drop that amount of points, you know, and they just go probably from strength to strength. It is a convoluted season. It's going to be a weird, truncated season, I suppose, with the World Cup in November, so anything's possible, but you've got to be up in around it before the World Cup takes place, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. I have a feeling this could be a transitional year for Liverpool. I'm not writing that off yet. It's too early, but we've got to be better. I mean, you can judge a team on maybe when you're about 10 games in, but we're 6 games in now, and all isn't right in the garden. All isn't right in the garden. Now, I know we've injuries and stuff like that. Players are only starting to come back now, really. Like Matip, Jota, Arthur Melo, then his signing was on the bench. These type of guys, Jota, it was big, he came on, but the midfield didn't work first half. He brought Bobby on for Carvalho at half time. I thought it would work. It worked for a little while, but Everton got on top of us then midway through the second half, and the chances, and I think they sniffed it. Cody scored. It was disallowed. It was a toenail in it that we got away with one there as well, you know. So Everton probably look back and go, geez, that was a great chance to beat Liverpool, you know. They hadn't beaten us. What was it? 8 draws. It's 11 draws now, but 8 draws and 2 losses in 10 games. You know, they would have had, but now it's 9 draws and 2 losses, Everton's record against us. But I mean, like, it just, oh, I hate Goodison Park. I hate playing there. I hate watching games at Goodison. They're never free-flowing, are they? Odd time you get the odd. But even, I remember a few years ago, even Mane scored an injury time in off the post. If you remember that, they hit the post, I think Sturridge hit the post or something. Was it Mane or someone ran in on it? So, you know, the horrible games, and most people say, yeah, Point of Goodison's not bad in the derby, but it's not. It's just, we're not doing things right. We're not the right ball. We're not holding onto the ball. We're not slowing it down. We're not speeding it up at the same time. We're just not doing it as a unit. We're doing it individually. Even Mo Salah, that was one of Mo Salah's quietest games ever today. That was one of Mo Salah's quietest games ever. I didn't even know he was on the pitch in the first half. I mean, he was so quiet. He just didn't get the ball. Unbelievable. Rod Meta is in. Rod from Down Under. Better lower our expectations this season. Two good goalkeeping performances today. Yeah, keepers were brilliant today. Both keepers. Pickford was very good for once. I mean, he's banished a few demons today with that performance. He was decent, but I mean, it was a 6 out of 10 performance from Liverpool. Probably some people giving a 5 out a performance, but no one on the pitch. There was no leader on the pitch today, I thought, who could just slow it down and pick up the ball and tell, especially the young lads like Eveliv and Carvalho, what to do. There just wasn't that on the pitch today. They tried, of course they did. They tried their hardest, but it just didn't work, did it? It wasn't good enough today. And I think Nunez was probably trying too hard. He needed to calm doan. I know it was his first game back after the 3-match suspension. He was unlucky once or twice, especially with that one off the crossbar. Great save from Pickford. But look, there's a lot wrong with that performance today. There wasn't a huge amount of shining lights other than players coming back from injury. You see Matip on the bench and Jota coming on and that type of thing. And obviously Arthur Melo, hopefully we'll see him maybe against Napoli midweek. And it doesn't get any easier because Napoli midweek away is tough as well, isn't it? So I don't know what we do, guys. But I did a video yesterday with Keith and Ivan, and I basically said the midfield's where it's won and lost. And our midfield was terrible today. We're missing Thiago, we're missing Hendo and stuff like that. But it's just not there, is it? I mean, unless Arthur Arthur comes out to be unbelievable and slots in there and does a job for us in the next few games. But I mean, it's a big risk, and it's just a bit disappointment. Is that the word I'd use for today? Really disappointed. I was confident enough going into that game that we'd beat Everton today. I'd be a better team, better squad, players coming back. I thought we were ready to rock. Nunez starting, you're ready to go. Let's go. Let's get the win. I knew it'd be a tough ground. I knew it'd be tough. I thought it'd be a goal in it. I rough and tumble, tackling, diving, pulling out of each other and stoppages and stuff like that. But it wasn't quite like that. First half was a bit niggly. But Everton played decent stuff and probably just through guile and effort and going for it and wanting it and hunger. Second half, they seem to be first to the ball. And that worries me more than anything, But the performance just wasn't there today, guys. 0-0 at Goodison just wasn't there from all departments of the pitch, other than Alisson and goal. As you say, Alisson's probably Liverpool's man of the match. And to say Alisson's man of the match isn't a good sign either, is it? It means he's had to pull off a few worldies to keep us in it. My personal opinion is that the team didn't get enough time to mentally recover over the break. No amount of signings can completely solve this. Yeah, I said this weeks ago, Rod, and I'll reiterate it and say it again on repeat. The 63-match season last year has taken its toll on Liverpool. I mean, 3 cup finals, right down to the last 15 minutes of the league to win the league or not. Champions League final took it out of us. We looked third in the last 15 against Madrid. Two FA Cup, League Cup wins, extra time penalty wins, I mean, it really did take it out of us. We needed a relaxing pre-season in around the British Isles or even just in Europe, a few games, 4 or 5 games, instead of 6 or 7 games, and you're playing in Singapore, you're playing in Bangkok, you're flying all over the shop. We didn't need that. I'm sure it was out of Klopp's control because he doesn't control the pre-season schedule. It's already preset probably a year or 2 in advance. But of all seasons, we would have needed an easy, relaxing, restful season. Was this season. And it already looks like it's taken its toll on the players. But no excuses either. I mean, there's quality there. There's quality in the squad. There's quality on the pitch today to do a job. But they just didn't do it. Ask Kay in the house, what Milner doing it right back? Klopp needs to revisit his strategy. Well, I mean, Milner came on. I mean, Milner signed a year extension. It probably wouldn't have expected to play as many minutes as he's played. Bobby as well. Although Bobby was probably a little unlucky to be left out today, people might say. Maybe it would have been better starting Bobby and bringing on Nunez with a half an hour to go. But look, the deal's done. We've drawn 0-0. We've dropped more points. We've dropped 2 points. People say maybe it was a point gain today because we were so bad. I mean, Everton had really good chances. The VAR decision goes for you, goes against you. He was just off. Alisson, 1 or 2 really good saves later on. Okay, Pickford made 1 or 2 too. But overall, I'm on about the play, the control of the game. Everton were getting on top of us for a stage there, for about a 15-minute stage, and I really, really worried. When that goal went in at Cody, I thought, here we go, that's it. And the VAR got us out of a hole. But worrying, definitely worrying. It's the midfield. I mean, it's a worry for Napoli because Napoli are a better team than Everton, you know, and we have to go to Napoli. I know it's a different game. It's not a derby. It won't be as physical, but it'll be a tough game, and we always find it hard against Napoli. We certainly don't want to go to Napoli and lose our first game in the Champions League group. You got to get off to a good start in the group, don't you? So disappointing today. Really, really disappointing. Yeah, of course, wrote 2 seasons off due to injuries. It's unacceptable. Gary Richards, Tally ho, Dave. I'm very concerned, says Gary. I'm concerned, not very concerned, but I am concerned, obviously. Yes, I mean, well, concerned on what? That we're going to win the league or not? I had City as favourites to win the league to start. It hasn't changed my mind. I mean, it's got to be harder now to catch them just because of the fact we've dropped so many points. I mean, 3 draws out of 6 games, 1 loss, 2 wins, 9 points. 9 points out of a possible 18 points. You know, it's 50% of the points, 9 out of 18. It's just not good enough. It's a terrible start. It's one of our worst starts in a long time. I'm sure Klopp's worried as well, going, hold on, we're in trouble now. We gotta stay in with the pack, though. We gotta stay in with the pack. And we've Wolves, I think, Anfield next Saturday at 3 o'clock. Obviously, Napoli's in between that, but I think this season really is going to be a season where we're going to have to concentrate to get into that top 4 and a good run in the Champions League. I think we'll take a back seat in the League Cup and the FA Cup, just the way it works out. I don't think we played the League Cup, the Derby County game until November the 7th or something. It's ages away because of the World Cup as well. It's got to be a peculiar season. It's got to be a really, really unusual season. But we shall see. Gary, Liverpool looked constipated. They did look constipated actually today, didn't they? They needed a tablet or they needed to sit on the toilet for an hour, but they did not get a chance because Everton hustled and hassled and made it hard for Liverpool from minute 1. They knew they'd less quality than Liverpool. They'd less quality on the bench, on the pitch, but they made it hard, and heart can be, most of it. If you've got heart, you've got belief, you've got, press. They pressed us most of the time. Our press is gone. That's the most worrying thing for me. Forget about the 9-0 Bournemouth. Bournemouth were terrible. That game was over after 6 minutes. But other than the Bournemouth game, the press is gone. That's my huge worry. Ever since Pep Linders brought out his book Intensity, the intensity is just gone. So either you haven't read the book or I don't know what's happened since that book came out. But the intensity is definitely gone. We had the intensity, of course, against City in the Community Shield, Charity Shield, whatever you want to call it, the week before the league started. Everybody went, here we go, ready to rock, looked on it, looked ready for action. Then Fulham came along and we just dropped below. Our levels just went right down. Palace, we were okay. The Palace game, we actually played okay, I thought. We were a bit unlucky. Obviously, Nunez gets sent off, didn't help. I think if Nunez stays in the pitch, we probably win that game. Then the United game, we all know about the United game. That was absolute worst performance in probably a few seasons. That was a bad, bad loss, to be fair. We picked it up against Bournemouth 9-0. Yeah, that was great. But I think that papered over a lot of cracks for Liverpool, that 9-0. It really did. It papered over a lot of cracks. The last-minute winner against Newcastle, that's a 0-0. That's a 1-1 all day long, isn't it? That's a 1-1 all day long. You're seconds away. You're even when the corner went, we could have blown, couldn't he? But we got the win. It's still papering over cracks. It's papering and papering. And today, could have lost that game. Could have easily lost the game today. We got the draw, but could have easily have lost that. Liverpool should have bought the young in summer with Nunez. Look, we can go back to transfers. The window's closed, guys. The window's been shut for 3 days, 2 days. We've got to go with what we have at least till January. So we've got to put a team together, get confidence behind the team, and go for it. Get behind the team, get behind Klopp. There's nothing else we can do. Nothing else. Rob Holland, no ideas on how to score. Long season awaits, says Rob. Well, it's already a long season. I'm only 6 games in. But look, get behind the team. Of course, we will 100% get behind the team. And players will come back and play. Nunez gets a goal, he gets back. I was worried with Salah today. I think Salah was really quiet today. Mo Salah. Salah in the derby to be non-existent, basically. Really non-existent for most of the game. He had 1 or 2 half chances, but that was it. For Mo Salah, did he even go by a player? That was worrying. Salah, even in the Newcastle game, he wasn't great, but today he was even worse. He was non-existent today. Really was. I thought Gomez was decent today, to be fair to him. He was one of the better Liverpool players. I'm worried about the lack of goals. Lack of goals, and we had everybody on the pitch, guys. We had everyone on the pitch. Nunez, Diaz, Salah, Bobby came on at half-time. Jota came on late. We had everyone. There was the 5 amigos on the pitch. We still couldn't get a goal. So, oh, wow. Worrying times. Hit the like and we'll stay on for another little while, guys. But as I say, instant match reaction to the disappointing 0-0 the Merseyside derby. Everton, Liverpool really was disappointing. Poor result. Really, draws are no use. I mean, there really are no use, even away from home. It's a tough place like Goodison. I mean, they hadn't lost. They'd lost what? They'd lost three. Sorry, they'd lost two, and now they've drawn four. So they're the draw specialists. And I think that's our 9th draw at Goodison. And we've only got 2 wins out of 11. So 2 wins, 9 draws. It's a draw. It is draw city. But it wasn't that. I wanted more control of the game. It would have been different if we had more shots on Pickford and we were defensively a bit tighter and controlled the game a lot more. And then you say, well, a draw, bit unlucky. But you could say Everton were a little bit unlucky not to win it as well. So, I mean, it could have went either way. It could have went either way in the last 15. Really could have. And it really could have went Everton's way. Could have been worse. Could have been sitting here with a defeat, guys. Wow. Klopp might be part of the problem, says Gary. Gary's thrown in a nice little curveball there. I did say on Jack Mack's show at halftime I would take Carvalho off. I know we got a little bit of a knock and bring Bobby on. He seemed to be listening to me for that one, but that didn't really work either, did it? I mean, the midfield at the moment is the issue, isn't it? It really is. I was hoping for another one to come in when we signed Arthur Melo. And Arthur Melo, to me, looks like he was only signed because of maybe Henderson. Henderson got that injury. I mean, if Henderson wouldn't have got that injury, would he have signed Melo? I don't know. It's the answer. I think that deal was only done 24 hours before the window shut. I think he was on standby for it to get done. Okay, it got done. Great, it got done. And luckily, it got done. But midfield is the issue. And as I say, midfield is everything. Because if the midfield isn't right, if the midfield tree, the midfield connectivity or whatever you want to call it, press isn't there, the defence is under more pressure. And the forward line isn't being serviced. The fulcrum, it's like the bearing in a clutch. If the bearing isn't right, you ain't got a clutch. You can't go through, you can't do anything in a car. So a bad clutch, you can't start the car. And I think that's what Liverpool has been like start of this season. Stop, go. Okay, Bournemouth, I think you can wipe the Bournemouth one out. I really do. I think Bournemouth were so poor, they're going to get relegated anyway, I'd say. They'd be relegation fodder. 9-0 was beautiful. It was great. But if our whole season goes down to the 9-0 against Bournemouth, I can't see it. Even the Newcastle game. Newcastle, you could say, a little unlucky not to get the draw there. I would have been pissed if someone scores a 98-minute winner against me. So, I think it's slightly papering over cracks those late winners. It really is. But there's a lot of work to do, guys. And it doesn't get easier. Midweek, Napoli away. Wow, that's potentially a banana skin, I can tell you that much. Why do you call it a banana skin? I don't know. Rob Holland, the movement of the players and the ball is pedestrian at times. Teams defend against us with ease. I think we could have a bigger issue with players lacking fight and urgency and press and everything else. Yes, it's confidence as well. Maybe it's a drop off of form to key players at the wrong time at the same time, which doesn't help either, does it? I think it's a multitude of problems. I don't think it's just one. I think it's 5 or 6 problems all happening at once. You can throw injuries in there. You can throw drop off of form of top spinal players down the spine. You can throw, the press just isn't there. Maybe it's a different formation. Klopp wants to play with Nunez. Maybe intensity is certainly not there. A lot of things wrong at the moment. Salah's form isn't there quite either, is it? I mean, he's dropped off big time. Today he was non-existent. I mean, a confident Salah, and it's a different, it's just a different game. I would have switched Salah second half, played him on the other side straight away. I don't know. He was just getting no joy at all. Everton did well keeping quiet, but on his own standards, he was really pedestrian today. Pretty crap at the moment anyway. Enjoy the ride, folks. I'll keep supporting all we can do, says Rod. Well, he won't stop me supporting them, of course. 100%, absolutely. Nothing we could do. Windows shut. We're here till January. At least we've got to stay on the coattails of those top boys now. I think it's even top 4 is not a, I wouldn't say it's an easy walk in. It's not. I say we will get top 4, but you need to do the work on the pitch. You need to get the points on the board. You're hoping maybe United and Arsenal's a draw tomorrow as well. You're hoping City, look, there's a lot to happen. Big games today as well. So all eyes on the other teams, but we shouldn't have to be worrying about that. We should just do our own job. We should have to just basically do our job on the pitch, and it should be good enough. But at the moment, it just isn't good enough. I don't want to be too harsh. It's early. I don't want to be too harsh, as I said. It is early, 6 games in, but what I've seen in the first 6 is not good. It does concern me. It does concern me, really does. But I think, as I say, I think it all stems from midfield. I think Matip is huge with Van Dijk as well. I'd bring Matip in for Napoli, although Gomez was decent today. But I just think Matip gives more solidity, gives more confidence to Van Dijk as well. I think Robbo will probably start against Napoli because he came on. Tsimikas was decent today as well. He tried his best. But it's just so much wrong at the moment, Liverpool. It's hard to pinpoint it down to one thing, as I say. It's 5 or 6. It's a multitude of issues. Can we get them all right? Can we get them all fixed? I don't know. It's possible with Klopp and the boys, Pep Linders and all the top boys there, sit them down tomorrow and go again. That's all we can do, and try win the next game. I mean, that's all you can do. You brush it off, you go again. Napoli away in midweek is not going to be easy. I mean, you wanted an easier game. You probably wanted a home game. But that is not an easy game. And then Wolves, I think it's Wolves at Anfield next Saturday at 3 o'clock. So, I mean, it's all on the cards, guys. It's lay it all out. I'm sure Klopp wasn't happy with the performance today either. People are blaming the referee, especially first. I don't blame the referee at all. I mean, we do our stuff on the pitch. We don't have to worry about the referee. We play with our intensity, press, confidence, take our chances, this type of thing. We don't have to worry about what the referee does or even what the opposition does. But at the moment, yeah, we're just not at it, are we, guys? We just are not 100% at it, and it is a concern. There's no doubt about it. It is a concern to me. I would have expected, when I looked at the start of the first 6 games, I expect us to win them all, to be fair. Especially after that Community Shield game. You might say 5 wins and a draw. Yeah, sort of something like that. But to only win 2 out of your first 6, lose 1, draw 3, that is not good. That is not good, guys. That is poor. That's basically like winning 3 and losing 3. Same points, 9 points, It was utter shite, says Gary. There you go. Exactly. Hit the like, guys. It's down for another few minutes. As I say, instant match reaction of the Mersey. Very disappointing Merseyside derby today. 0-0. We've had a few 0-0s, haven't we? But we've had better confident 0-0s. We've had better press. We've had better performances even in 0-0s. Today was poor. Lacking urgency, basically, is what I'm going to say. Champions League is our aim now, says Rob. Well, it's a big one on Wednesday against Napoli, isn't it? Huge one. Estonian is in. How are you, my friend? Remember, let's make GoFundMe. Seems that's the only way to get what we want. Obviously, a big pun on FSG and John W. Henry there. But yeah, well, look, I mean, they'll be blamed. I mean, if we finish outside the top 4 or whatever, they will be blamed, won't they? I mean, they are the owners. They're the ones that sign the checks, as Klopp says. But look, we got to get behind the team. We got to get behind the players, the club, Klopp. We got to get behind them now. I mean, there's nothing we can do till January. Will someone come in January? It'd be too late by then. I mean, if you're out of the race or you're out of the Champions League or whatever by then, potentially you could be. I'm not saying we're going to be, but potentially you could be. So, look, we just got to get behind the team, give them confidence and go again. It's as simple as. There's nothing else we can do. I don't know what else we can do other than that. And hope a few of our midfielders come back. I think Thiago's back next week. But we shall see what happens. I mean, we just go from there. I as I said, the midfield, if you can get Thiago back into that midfield with Fabinho, then you can play like of a Carvalho or Elliott with them, because you've got the 2 really experienced midfielders. I'm hoping Napoli or Thiago's available, or Arthur Melo are available for the Napoli game midweek, because we have to have a decent midfield. Otherwise, we'd probably have a Milner in there or something like that, But it is going to be interesting, guys. It really, really is. But very disappointing, I have to say. I can't hide the fact that I'm very disappointed with today. I mean, Everton, did they deserve to win the game? I mean, they could have won it. They've had 1 or 2 really. They controlled it a lot more than us. They'd 1 or 2 more chances. Okay, we hit the crossbar twice in the 10-second spell. They hit the crossbar with Davies first as well. That goes into a different game. Goals change games, of course, but I just thought we were very poor today. Really, really poor. I'm going to leave it at that, because I'll only get angry and get more disappointed. Guys, thanks for popping in. Hit the like, hit the share. It's finished at the Merseyside derby, very disappointingly. Liverpool nil, Everton nil, Everton nil, Liverpool nil at Goodison. Really poor performance. Alisson probably our man of the match today, guys. We got to do better. We will do better. Roll on to Napoli. Stay safe. Talk soon. Not great, is it? Cheers.